Hey guys, welcome back to Yoga with Leona, your site for everything about yoga and breast cancer recovery. Welcome back. So today's practice is going to be another vigorous vinyasa practice. So as you recall, if you've watched some of the asana practice videos, most of our practices here at Yoga with Leona are in the Y for C methodology. So this is the type of practice that's accessible to anyone. We use blocks for our sun salutations in that style of yoga, and that allows us to protect our spines a little bit more, and in general has less work down into the arms. But I'm a fan of vigorous vinyasa style yoga, so if you have been doing the Y for C style practices for a while and you're feeling stronger and feeling fine about putting some weight into your arms, and you want to see if you can kind of ramp up the vigorousness of your practice, then you've reached the right video. That's what we're going to try to do here in these vigorous vinyasa practices. So before starting this practice, you need to be able to put a little bit of weight into your arms, and then also know that, modify anytime you need to. Take a break when you need to. Feel free to put your knees down and rest anytime you need to. It takes a while to build strength back up. But I want to encourage you that you can do it. So that's the reason for having these videos on the website as well. So I've got a few props today, my usual props, a couple of blocks, a blanket for under my knees, and a strap. You're not 100% going to need all of these things today, but always good to have them beside you. I'll show you a few places where you might use them to help you get into the proper alignment a little bit better. And then the other thing about today's practice is I'm set up sort of close to a wall here, because I'm going to show you how to get into shoulder stand using the wall. So it makes it really accessible. It makes it pretty easy to do the preparative work that you need to eventually get into a shoulder stand on your own. So set yourself up relatively close to a wall so that you can at least scooch close to the wall when the time comes. And with that being said, let's get started. So as always, arrive at your mat. Find your place of stillness. Begin to notice the sensations of your breath. Come to your comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. If you need to sit on a block or on a blanket to give your hips a little space, that's perfectly fine. You want to feel a nice, long, tall spine so that you can then begin to feel your breath deepening, breath slowing and lengthening, air coming all the way down into your abdomen. So the theme for today's practice is just about practice. So one of the things about yoga is that the most important thing is just that you continue to practice. It doesn't matter really exactly what your postures look like, as long as you're doing them safely. It doesn't matter if you can stand on your head or do 100 sun salutations. What's important is that you put in the practice with some sort of regularity. So I have a quote for you today. I love this quote. It's from Henry David Thoreau. He says, "As a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kind of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives." And so this quote sort of illustrates the idea that whether it be about your thoughts or about other things in your life, if we want to make true change and have transformation in our lives, we just have to put in the work. So we have to practice over and over again and not be so concerned with the outcome on any given day. So we can't think, okay, today's the day I'm going to be a true yogi because I'm going to do a really good warrior too, or today's the day because I'm gonna get that pose, or yoga postures aren't like possessions, things that you collect to show off to your friends. Yoga is more about a process, and it's about putting in the effort on a day-to-day basis, and just knowing that when you get on your mat, no matter what the practice looks like, you're getting those benefits. So put in the work, feed that inner fire, that drive, you know, for all the good stuff that yoga brings to us, but not being so attached to specifically getting any of those gains exactly, right? So it's about the practice. All right, with that said, let's take one long Om. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale for Om. Very nice. And then release your hands to your knees. You can take a mudra if you like. Index finger to thumb perhaps, palms facing up. Openness and receptivity to the practice. If you feel like you need more grounding, you can turn the palms down. Chin mudra, a little more grounding and settling. So wherever you are, let's shift into square breathing. So if you don't know it, imagine a square in front of your face. You're going to start at the lower left-hand corner of the square, and on the inhale, you're going to imagine coming up the left-hand side of the box. Then you're going to hold the inhale across the top, exhale down the right side, and hold the exhale. So we've got equal durations of inhale and exhale, and equal durations of hold between the inhale and the exhale on both ends. All right, so you don't have to do anything with your arms. Just imagine that square, and it helps you to keep track of where you are in the breath cycle. So let's exhale all of our air out. And then when you're ready, inhale for a count of 2, 3, 4. Now hold. 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Now inhale and hold and exhale and hold. Now inhale and hold and exhale and hold. Inhale and hold. Now exhale and hold. Take 3 more rounds on your own. I'm going to join you. After that third breath, release control of the breathing and just let your breath come back to natural. Notice that you may be feeling a little more relaxed, a little more centered than when you first arrived on your mat. That's perfect. Always practicing from that place of stillness, from that place of inner calm and peace. That's what allows our practice to be its most effective. A famous yoga teacher by the name of Pattabhi Jois, he's sort of the father of Ashtanga style of yoga, famously said, "Do your practice and all is coming." The same idea of, it doesn't really matter what the practice looks like or how it feels from one day to the next, just do your practice with regularity and all the benefits are coming to you. All right, let's roll over onto our hands and knees and get started with the spine warm up. If you'd like to take a blanket to pad your knees, feel free to go ahead and do that now. And then let's come into our tabletop. So if you've been doing a little bit of this vinyasa style yoga and you've been putting a little bit of weight in your hands, you might want to stretch your wrists a little bit. I like to do this at the beginning of practice so you can shift your weight forward and back into the wrists, and then turn your hands toward the outside of your mat and shift your weight side to side. You feel a nice stretch through your wrists and the muscles of your forearms. If it's okay, you can turn your hands all the way back toward your knees. Same thing, shift the weight side to side. Feel a nice big stretch there. Being gentle, of course. And then lastly, if it's okay, turn your hands over, put a little pressure onto the tops of your hands and just feel that stretch through your wrists. Good, you can turn the hands different directions and see how that feels. Always taking care of our wrists, especially if we like vinyasa yoga. All right, so let's come to tabletop, wrists just under shoulders, knees just under hips, and let's begin with some cat-cow. So on an inhale, belly sinks down, head up. Exhale, push your spine up to the sky, shoulder blades spread, head comes down. Inhale, belly down, arch your back. Exhale, push it up to the sky. Good, keep going like that. So you're bending your spine forward and back, all the way from the bump at the back of your head down to your tailbone. So your entire spine bending forward and back. We're waking up that spine. Good, one more time. All right, great work. Now we're gonna spin on our left knee and we're gonna come into this modified side plank. Now here's one spot where if it feels more comfortable to you, you could bring a block under that left hand. So the right leg's gonna go long to the back of your mat, right arm to the sky, gaze up to that top hand and stretch your body. Take some big circles with that right arm, feel your chest open, feel that whole right side of your body opening. Big stretch all the way from tip to toe. Stretching your right side body, opening that right lung, deep breath. Good, and then come back to the center. Let's take the other side. So you spin on the right knee, and if you like to take that block under your right hand, that's fine. Left leg goes long to the back and we stretch up and open. So again, big circles with that top arm if you like it. Feel that stretch through the left-hand side of your body on this side. Feel your chest opening, shoulder opening a little bit. All right, good, and come on back to center. All right, let's take a little twist. So you're gonna lift your right arm up to the side, and then you're gonna thread that right arm underneath your left hand and bring your right shoulder onto the floor. You can rest your head onto the floor, and then you can move this left hand wherever's comfortable. I like to take these kind of cupcake hands. Imagine there's a cupcake underneath your hand and you don't want to smash it. And then the point of this posture is a little twist through your spine. So feel your spine gently twisting. If you feel frisky, you can lift up that left leg. And then let it go, and let's come on back to center. Let's take the other side. So the left arm stretches up, and then it threads under the right, left shoulder to the floor. Resettle that right hand, and feel your spine twist. I like to kind of push into that right hand to deepen the twist. And then if that feels good, the right leg can come up and stretch. And then come all the way back down. Good, let's come back to center. Let's sink our hips back for a little child's pose. Stretch your low back. You can shift your hips side to side if that feels good. We're waking up our spine to get us ready to practice. All right, good. Then we're gonna come back up into our hands. We're gonna tuck your toes, come to downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of the day. You might want to walk it out a little bit, stretch through those legs and that low back. Let's talk a little bit about downward facing dog while we're here. So the point of downward facing dog is to stretch your low back first. So if you need to bend your knees to feel a little stretch through your low back because you've got tight hamstrings, that's perfectly fine. Also, it doesn't matter if your heels touch the floor. A lot of people are always trying to get their heels on the floor. It doesn't matter. You just want to feel the stretch through your back. You want your shoulder blades to come up the back, so down toward your hips, not up here in your ears. And then feel that external rotation of the shoulders. Shoulder blades down. Good. Now we're gonna roll up and back a few times. So push your spine up, roll up and forward to upward facing dog, and then push it up and back again. 2 more times like that. Roll it up and forward, and then push it back. 1 more time. Up and forward, and push it back. Good. Come down to sit on your knees. All right, so our spine should be feeling a little warmed up. Let's go ahead and remove that blanket. We're going to take a little core strengthening to continue to kind of turn on that inner fire, right? The inner fire of tapas, or dedication, self-discipline. So let's come to sit on our rear end. Bring your feet flat to the floor, the knees are up. We're going to take Navasana, or boat pose. So you're going to reach your hands underneath your thighs, roll yourself just very slightly back such that you can pick your feet up off the floor. Now, if that's not happening for you, totally fine to keep the feet on the floor. And then you're going to release the hands and feel your core strong here. If you're able to pick the feet up off the floor, the feet can come parallel to the floor, they can be just an inch off the floor, or they can be all the way extended up, your choice. And then if it's okay, you release those hands and hold it here. Core nice and strong holding you here. Wherever the feet are, again, don't worry about it. You're putting in the work, you're getting the benefits. Now, lower yourself slowly down to the floor, no flopping, and come back up. 3 more breaths. Good, and let it go. Rest a second, we're gonna take 1 more set of that. So, core strengthening work is so hard, but it's so good for us. So many things in yoga get easier if you have a strong core. So that's why we do all this stuff. All right, let's take 1 more set of that. So again, feet flat to the floor, hands under your thighs, roll slightly back and lift the feet up to wherever feels okay to you. If it's here, that's great. Here or all the way up. And then release those hands and breathe. Take it down, take it back up, and release. All right, nice job, guys. All right, so we're all warmed up, we're ready to rock and roll. So let's bring our blanket back. We're going to take a few of those kneeling sun salutations to start off our sun salutation work. So bring the blanket sort of toward the back half of your mat. If you like to have your knees on the blanket. If your mat's plenty padded, you don't have to use a blanket like this. All right, let's get started with 5 of these. So inhale, stretch your body up, gentle back bend at the top if it feels good. Exhale, fold your body forward for child's pose. Inhale, up for a cow, so belly down, head up. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, belly down, head up, another cow. Exhale, sit your hips back, child's pose. Inhale, come all the way up, arms above your head, gentle back bend, and sit it down. That's 1. We're gonna do 4 more. Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale up for a cow. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Remember, you can take cat here instead of down dog if you want to. Inhale, knees down, cow. Exhale, hips sit back. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, have a seat. 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale for a cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, another cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, have a seat. Keep going, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Last one on your own. Wonderful. Stop and breathe a moment. So let's notice the energy in our bodies. Feel yourself building strength, building warmth. All right, and then let's come on up to a stand. So we'll go ahead and remove the blanket and come to the top of your mat. So we're going to start with some traditional sun salutations. Remember, if you want to do the Y for C style sun salutations with the blocks, just do those instead right now as I'm doing the other ones. So totally fine to take the style that works best for you. But I'm going to lead you through first Surya Namaskar A, or sun salutation A. It's very simple. Let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold your body forward. Remember, it's fine to bend your knees if you need to. Hands come to the floor. Inhale, head comes up slightly. And then on the exhale, you walk yourself back to a big, strong plank. Now, a couple of options for these sun salutations and for all of our transitions in Vinyasa Yoga. First option is to just swing forward with straight arms into upward facing dog. And then you push your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Another option is to just skip the upward facing dog altogether and go straight to downward facing dog. And then the last option is chaturanga. So if you're working on this, remember elbows come back toward our hips, chest stretches forward slightly, chaturanga, and then upward facing dog, hips up and back, downward facing dog. All right, 3 breaths here, downward facing dog. Remember, externally rotate your arms, shoulders plug up toward your hips. Now look to the front of your mat. Take a step forward. Lengthen your spine. Forward fold. And come up. Exhale, hands to your heart. I'm scooching back just a little so I don't hit my head on the wall there. Want to make sure you keep that spine nice and straight. All right, keep going. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold with a flat back. Bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, head comes up. Now you can walk back like we just did, or you can jump back. If you jump back, you've got to bend the elbows a little bit to cushion yourself. Now your choice, swing through with straight arms or chaturanga through upward facing dog. Hips push up and back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Look to the front, and you can either walk or hop forward in between your feet. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Now here it is, straight spine as you come up. Exhale, hands to your heart. 3 more like that. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up slightly. Now your choice, walk back or jump back, chaturanga, through upward facing dog. Notice my thighs are off the floor. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Remember, it's always fine to put your knees down if you need a rest. Look to the front, walk or jump. Lengthen your spine, forward fold, and inhale, come up with a flat back. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good, 2 more. Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, make your way back your way. Either walk back or jump. Now downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Good, look to the front. Walk or jump. Lengthen your spine. Forward fold. And inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last one, inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, make your way back through upward facing dog and then downward facing dog. 3 breaths, remembering wherever you are in your practice today is exactly where you're supposed to be. So listen to your body. If you need rest, take it. If you feel strong, that's great. Good, look to the front. Walk or jump. Lengthen your spine. Forward fold. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Stop and breathe a moment. Feel the energy in your body. Feel your breath. Notice if your breath has quickened a little, if your heart rate's gone up a little. That's okay, that's expected. All right, let's get started with the sequences. So this first sequence is going to start sort of like Surya Namaskar B. So it's going to start like we're doing a Sun Salutation B. So it'll look like that, but then I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so to begin the first sequence, you're going to bend your knees, sit your hips down, arms come up. This is Utkatasana. Exhale, fold your body forward, hands come to the floor. Inhale, head comes up slightly, and then you make your way back just like in Surya Namaskar A. You can either walk or jump back, coming through upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Now we're going to step our right foot forward and take warrior 1. Stretch your arms high back, heel is down. Exhale, back to the floor, and you can either take chaturanga or not. And then we've got to take the left side. So left foot steps forward, warrior 1. Exhale, hands back to the floor. Through chaturanga or skip it. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. All right, so that's like one round of Sun Salutation B. At the end, we look forward, walk or jump, lengthen your spine, forward fold, bend your knees, hips sit down, we come back out through Utkatasana. So here's where the first sequence starts. From Utkatasana, you're going to bring your hands to your heart and you're going to twist your body to the right. So you can stay high like this with the upper body, just twisting right. Or if you're flexible enough, you can bring the left elbow outside the right thigh and twist. Have a look at your knees and make sure one knee isn't jutting way in front of the other. You want to keep them in line. Now, if it's possible, gently shift your weight into your right foot and step the left foot back into a high lunge. So ideally the heel is up in the back foot, but if that's too hard to balance, it's okay to put the heel down. Ideally heel up, still twisting. Good, now come up. You're going to release the right hand down the back leg and stretch that left arm to the sky. So really feel extension of your spine as you gently bend backwards. Coming back to your breath, breathing calmly. Good, now come up. We're going to open our body to the left side of our mat, and you're going to parallel your feet to one another. You could also have them slightly pigeon-toed if that works for you. Then we're going to bring our hands to our hips, and we're going to lead with our chest, sort of swan diving down toward the floor for a wide-legged forward fold. Now again, if you've got tight hamstrings, fine to bend the knees. You bring your hands all the way to the floor, or you can use a block here under your hands if that's more comfortable to you. So again, the idea here is first stretching through the low back and then stretching through the hamstrings. So eventually you work towards straight legs if that's possible. And you also eventually work toward head all the way toward the floor. You shift a little weight into your balls of your feet, stretching your body toward the floor. Good. Now bring your body up halfway. You're going to turn the back toes toward the back left corner of your mat, and then you're going to shift your weight over into that left back leg as you open the right foot up to the sky. This is Skandasana. Now, if you've got pretty tight hips, you might want to stay right here. But if you've got a lot of flexibility in your hips and knees, you can sink your bum all the way down. Eventually you want this heel on the floor, but some people will need to have the heel up at first, and hands can come to your heart if you can balance. Remember, right toes point toward the sky. Big stretch through that right inner thigh. Good, breathe. Good, now hands come back to the floor. We're gonna step back into the right foot and we're gonna come to warrior two. So remember, warrior two is right foot points toward the front of the mat, back foot is perpendicular to your mat, arms come up and breathe. So the front knee is just above the ankle. Good, reverse, left hand down, right arm up, feel that right side body stretch. And let's let it go. So cartwheel, both hands back to the floor, pick up that front foot, and then here's where you take a transition. You can either go straight to downward facing dog, you can swing through with straight arms, or you can chaturanga through upward facing dog to downward facing dog. All right, good. And remember, always fine to put the knees down and rest a moment in between the sides if you need to. Listening always to your body. So as we start doing these more vigorous practices, it's so important to not push yourself too much. You definitely don't want to get an injury. That's just going to slow things down. So always listening to your body. You're the one that knows what you're feeling. All right, wherever you are, let's come back to downward facing dog and get ready for the second set. The good news is we're not going to take those warrior ones. We're just going to look to the front, walk or jump. And then we're going to start here, forward fold, bend your knees, Utkatasana. Now on this side, hands come to your heart and we twist to the left. So remember, you can stay high with your twist here, or you can bring that right elbow outside the left thigh. Again, have a look at your knees, make sure the right isn't jutting forward as it tends to want to do. Feel a big twist through your spine. Now shift the weight gently into the left foot as you step the right foot far behind. Again, heel up if possible. Sort of a high lunge legs. But if you need to put the heel down for balance, it's totally fine. Good, now come back to the center. Left hand goes down that back leg, right arm stretches to the sky. Feel your spine extend as you take a gentle back bend. Good, now hands come back to our heart. We're gonna open to the right side of our mat this time. And then remember, feet parallel or slightly pigeon-toed. So this time you can take hands at your hips like we did last time, or if you want to, you can interlace arms behind and then fold forward again with a flat back, leading with your chest. Fold all the way down, arms can come up and over your head. Good, release your back. Feel your spine stretch toward the floor. Perfect, now release your hands to the floor. Turn the right toes to the back right corner of your mat. Left foot opens up so that the left foot points toward the sky. and you sink into the right foot. So you can stop here and support yourself with your hands, or if you've got okay knees and hips, you sink all the way into that right foot and bring your hands to your heart. Feel a big stretch through the left inner thigh and left hamstring. Feels delicious. Breathing calmly. Again, not attaching to what your pose looks like, just knowing that wherever you're working today, that's where you're supposed to be. Good, now hands can come to the floor, or you can do it ninja style. Step into the front foot, come to warrior two. So warrior two is left foot pointing toward the front, right foot perpendicular to your mat, hips are open, arms relaxed. Breathe. Good, now reverse, right hand down, left arm up, stretch that left arm all the way to the sky. Good, and then let it go. Cartwheel the hands down, pick up that front foot, transition your way to downward facing dog. Now 3 deep breaths. You can either stay here in downward facing dog or bring your knees to the floor and rest. All right, if you're resting, let's come back to downward facing dog. We've got one more sequence. So hips stretch up to the sky. All right, this one we're gonna start with a left side plank. So 2 options. One is just roll onto the left foot, right arm to the sky. However, if you wanna put that left knee down, totally fine. So left side plank, knee down or not. Push your hips up and breathe. This is easiest if the left wrist is just under the shoulder. Good, downward facing dog. All right, now pull your right knee in toward your chest and place it in between your hands. Back knee comes down. We're coming for a low lunge here, so feel your hips shift forward. And if it's okay, you can stretch your arms all the way up to the sky. Remember, cactus is fine. Or arms stretching up. Feel extension of your spine. Stretch up and out of your hips as the hips stretch forward. Good, hands to the floor. Sink your hips back for half Hanuman. Here's another good place you might want blocks. If you've got pretty tight hamstrings, you might use blocks here under your hands for your half Hanuman. If you can reach your hands to the floor, that's fine. Stretch your chest forward and fold over that front leg. Feel a big stretch through your right hamstring. Good, now shift your weight forward into the front foot. Plant your left hand and twist to the right. Good, both hands back to place. Tuck your back toes and we're gonna come to a big, strong plank. So plank is such a good core strengthener. Feel your belly pull up and in, pushing into your shoulders. Shoulder blades are spread across the back. So we're not dumping down into our shoulders or our belly, right? We're pushing into the floor. Belly pulls up and in, almost a little hollowed out. If this is hard for you, you can always put the knees down and then try to create the same shape with knees down. All right, one more breath and then let it go. Chaturanga if you like, or straight to downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths in downward facing dog. We've got one more side here. All right, here comes the other side. Shift your weight into your right side plank. So the feet roll open, right shoulder is just above the wrist. Feel free to put the knee down if you like. Gazing up to the sky, push your hips up. Another great core strengthener here. And downward facing dog. Now pull the left knee in toward your chest and place the left foot between your hands as the back knee comes down. Hands come to your left thigh, sink the hips forward, feel those right hip flexors opening. If that feels okay, arms can stretch all the way to the sky. Extend your spine, stretch up and out of your hips. Good, hands come to the floor, sink your hips back, half Hanuman. So feel again that big stretch through the back side of your left leg. Stretch your spine forward and fold over the leg. Good, shift your weight into the front foot, plant your right hand and open to the left. Big juicy twist through your spine. Good, now plant both hands, tuck the back toe. Here's that big strong plank. 5 breaths in plank. Remember, fine to take it with knees down, but just keep working the strength through your shoulders and your core. All right, that's it, let it go. Chaturanga or straight to downward facing dog. Nice work, guys. Look to the front of your mat. Walk or jump. Lengthen your spine. Forward fold. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, stop and breathe here. Let's rest for a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. If you've got sweat running down your face like I do, don't worry about it. That's your body just trying to cool you off. It's the middle of summer here in hot, humid Puerto Vallarta, so that's expected. It's okay. Just make sure you drink plenty of water to replace those liquids that you might lose during your practice. Again, feeling the energy of your body, knowing how amazing it is that you're here doing your practice today. Do your practice and all is coming. All right, nice job. So now we've got a balancing pose. And we're going to take Warrior 3 for our balancing pose today. Sometimes we incorporate Warrior 3 into our sequences, but I'm going to just take it as a standalone balancing practice today. So you're going to move sort of to the back of your mat for this one. And I'm going to give you a couple of options. So first option is to bring your blocks to the front of your mat. So if you think you're going to want to use the blocks to help you balance, go ahead and bring them up to the front of your mat. Now we're going to start with our hands at our heart, and we're going to step the right foot forward and then shift our weight forward as the back foot comes up away from the ground. Eventually we're coming parallel to the floor like a capital T. Now if you need to have your hands at your blocks to help you balance, that's perfectly fine. The back toes point toward the floor in this one. You can point the toe if you like. Now, if you've got some balance and strength in the standing leg, hands can come to your heart center. Continue to balance. Feel a strong standing leg, strong core holding you there. If you're really frisky, arms can extend out in front of us. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then step back to place and breathe. So Warrior 3 is so great. Lots of core strengthening those legs and working on our balance. All right, let's take the other side. I like to take a little back bend in between the 2 sets and then step your left foot forward. Again, tilt your body forward. You're a straight line from the crown of your head to the back right toes. Tilt all the way down. You can bring hands to your blocks or keep them at your heart, your choice. Notice if your right hip is trying to open to the side. Keep your hips square to the floor. Good. If your frisky arms extend out in front, your body looks like a capital T for terrific. One more breath, and step it back. Good. Exhale, hands to your heart. Very nice. You might shake your hips out a little bit. That one gives a lot of strength through those big muscles of our outer hips. So we'll try to stretch that out in a little bit. All right, very good, guys. Let's make our way onto the floor. All right. So you can move your blocks to the side. Just go ahead and make your way to a comfortable seat. If you like to put a blanket under your hips for your seated poses, that's fine. You can go ahead and do that. If you've got really tight hips, sometimes that makes it a little more comfortable on your back. So our first seated pose today is going to be Baddha Konasana, or cobbler's pose. So we've got the soles of the feet together, but the feet are extended a little bit. So there's a big diamond shape in between the legs. You don't want to roll back onto your tailbone, so you want to roll your hips up and forward so that you're sitting on your sits bones. I like to bring my hands to my ankles or just under my ankles, and then stretch your chest forward as you fold all the way down. So you can feel your low back stretching. I'm going to come into this one slowly and just allow your body to melt all the way forward, as far forward as feels good. Again, never pushing to where you feel physical pain. You should feel a good stretch. Let's stop and breathe here. 5 big full breaths. Feel your body relaxing and coming down from the big effort from our vinyasa sequences. Good, and then inhale, bring your head up just about halfway. Now we're going to take the second part of this posture, which I love. It feels so good to my low back. So you're going to either bring the left hand, just keep it at the left ankle, or if it's possible for you, you wiggle the left hand underneath your left calf. And then the right hand's going to come to your right thigh. Push the right thigh away as you stretch your body over to the left. You should feel the stretch move into your right low back. Really push that right thigh out and away. It's kind of rolling that big muscular part of the front of your thigh away from you. That'll deepen that stretch. It feels so amazing. If you sit in chairs a lot for your work or otherwise in life, this is so good for you. All right, good. Come back to the center and let's switch the sides. So if you're able to stick that hand, that right hand's going to tuck under the right calf, and then take a left hand to your left thigh and push the thigh away. Roll that quadricep muscle away as you stretch your body to the right. Feel the stretch into the left low back here. All right, good. Release it and come back to the top. Let's take just a real easy twist here. So legs can be sort of crisscross applesauce or whatever feels good to you. You're going to stretch your arms up to the sky and then exhale as you gently twist around to the right. Left hand can come to your knee, right hand behind you. Stretch your spine long and twist to the right. So feel your spine twisting. Feel the big muscles in your back. Release a little. Good. Inhale to the top. And let's take the other way. Twist left as the right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Left hand behind you. Stretch your spine long and twist. Good. Inhale, arms back to the top. And exhale, release them. Again. Notice your breath, notice how your body's feeling. All right, good work. Let's take a little back bend practice before we get into that shoulder stand tutorial. So if you like to put the blanket under your knees, again, that's good. We're at the top of our mat today. We're going to take camel pose for our back bend. So for camel pose, knees are just under your hips. The feet point directly back behind the knees. So try not to let your knees go way out and feet in like a triangle. You want feet to extend directly back behind your knees. And then at first, we're going to take our thumbs kind of to our low back, so to the sacrum, like right where those dimples are, right at the lower aspect of your back, the top aspect of your bum. And then stretch your chest up as you sort of push your pelvis forward gently with the thumbs. All right, good. And then take your hands and imagine like you're putting them into your jeans pockets. So the hands are pointing down your bum. And again, push the hips forward, stretch your chest up, so extending the spine, not dumping into the low back. And then allow your head to gently rest back. So this is the first option for camel. Keeping hands in jeans pockets, pushing hips forward, stretching chest up and back. So imagine you're going up and over a limbo bar. Always breathing in camel. It's easy to want to hold your breath, but if you do, you're going to get dizzy. Good, and then come slowly up and rest your hips down onto your heels. Good, shake your chest out a little bit or your low back. You might move it forward and back, maybe take little circles with your low back. Shake that out. We're going to take one more set of that. And for the second set, it's your choice. You can take it just like we did, or I'll show you how to reach back for your heels if that's something that seems doable for you. All right, so second set, come on up again to the feet. You can tuck your toes under, which raises the heels up a little bit and makes them a little closer to reach. I'll show you that and then I'll show it to you with the feet flat. So again, remember, take the same as the first one, just hands in your jeans pockets and stay there if you like. But if you want to try to go deeper, push the hips forward, chest stretches up, head lowers back, and then you can reach one hand at a time for your heels. Once you get your heels, then push the hips forward again. So feel that back bend. Good. The second option is feet are flat on the floor. Same thing, hips forward, chest up, head back, reach for the heels. Once you get the heels, push the hips forward. So you want to always be pushing the hips forward to feel that delicious back bend. Feel your chest opening as well. And breathe. Good. To come up, put one hand on one hip and one on the other, and then sit it down. Again, relax your back. Maybe take some circles with your hips. I like to sometimes also sit one hip down to the floor, and then the other, sort of releasing that low back from that deep back bend we just did. All right, nice job, guys. Now, we're gonna move toward the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and remove your blanket. I'm gonna scooch my mat just a little bit closer toward the wall. And then we're gonna come to a seat. I'm gonna show you a couple of options for our inversion practice today. So, bring your bum kind of close to the wall, and then you're gonna spin your body around and take the legs up the wall. So this is the first option for your inversion. If you're feeling a little spent or a little tired, this is called legs up the wall, and it's such a great relaxing pose. You just rest your legs completely at the wall, arms come down to your sides, and relax. So that's option number one. Now, if you want to start working into shoulder stand, I'll show you that as well. And we've got a neat way to get into it at the wall, which makes it pretty easy. So have a watch first, because once you get into the pose, I don't want you turning your head to the side to look at the screen. So let's watch it first, and then I'll lead you through it as well. So same thing, butt's kind of close to the wall, and then this time you're going to bend your knees and bring the feet flat to the wall. You're going to reach your hands toward the wall, and then you're going to push your hips
up to the sky. Now, to get into shoulder stand, you've got to roll the shoulders underneath your body here. So you can see how it's a deep forward bend of my neck, and this is why we don't turn our head to the side. But if you can roll your shoulders underneath, then you walk the feet up the wall a little bit further, and then eventually you can try working into shoulder stand. You can try one leg at a time. If you're able to, you can interlace those hands behind your back to give you a little leverage. And then finally, when you're going all the way up into shoulder stand, you bring the hands up to your low back to give you a little support. And when you're ready, you pop it right up. So a lot of core strength here, pushing your hips up, pushing your feet up to the sky, and then a little bit of support from those hands. So you don't want to be totally dumping into your hands like this. Hands are flat as though they're going to reach toward your jeans pockets. They're just kind of pushing on your sacrum to give you some stability. Remember, no big deal if you don't get all the way up. You can just be practicing the strength at the wall. All right, so now that you've seen it, let me talk you through it. So let's give it a try. So hips are flat to the floor. Your butt is no more than a foot away from the wall, maybe closer if you can handle it. And then feet come flat to the wall, knees are bent, hands reach toward the wall. You push your hips up as you feel your shoulders roll underneath your body. Now, if that feels okay to your neck and shoulders, then you can try interlacing the hands behind you at the floor, or you can try bringing hands onto your low back or onto your sacrum, pushing those hips up, and then gently feel one leg balancing up to the sky, then the other. If you're frisky, you can try both at the same time. Very good. If you're up in shoulder stand, stretch those feet up to the sky, push your hips up to the sky. And then to come out, you can walk one foot gently to the wall at a time, or if your back is flexible enough, you can let the feet fall over top of your head into halasana or plow pose. And if you're in halasana, then you slowly roll your body down one vertebra at a time until you're back flat on the floor. Now, after shoulder stand, because it's such a deep forward flexion of our neck, we always need to release our neck. So let's remove ourselves from the wall gently and scooch back a little bit. So scoot yourself back on your mat so that your legs can extend long, and then bring your elbows to the floor and gently let your head fall all the way back. If that feels okay, then you can push into your elbows and scoot your body back until the crown of your head hits the floor. This is fish pose, the counter pose for shoulder stand, which really extends then the front side of your neck. Very nice. And then lift your head off the floor before you come to roll back down onto your mat. All right, awesome job, guys. We've got just a few finishing stretches before Savasana. So if you've got your strap nearby, let's reach for that. If you don't have a strap and you're flexible enough, you can just take peace sign fingers to your big toe. So that's fine. If you don't want to use the strap, no big deal either way. If you're using a strap, bring it around the sole of the right foot and pull that right foot toward you. So feel your body pretty warmed up. The muscles are a little bit flexible, so you feel that right hamstring stretch, and you can pull the foot a little closer toward your face. Good. Now grab the strap in your right hand, left arm to the floor, and open that right leg all the way out to the right. Feel that stretch into the inner thigh. Good, and then bring it back across the top. Take the strap into the left hand, right hand comes flat to the floor. Cross the foot over just to about 45 degrees and feel that stretch into the right outer hip and outer thigh region. Deep breaths. All right, very nice. Take that foot back to the top and let's switch the feet. So take your left foot into the strap, or take left peace sign fingers into the toe if that's working for you. Sorry, Bato, I just kicked him. All right, pull your foot toward your face and feel a big stretch through your left hamstring. Excellent. Now take the strap into the left hand, right arm flat to the floor, and open that left leg all the way out to the left. Feel a big stretch through your left inner thigh. Try to keep both hips flat on the floor. Don't flop over if you can help it. Good. Inhale back across the top. Strap into the right hand, left arm flat to the floor. Cross the leg over to 45 degrees and feel that stretch move into the left outer thigh and hip. Again, feeling your body relaxing into these finishing stretches. Your heart rate and your breathing should have come down by now. Feeling relaxed in the practice. Bring that foot back to the top and release your strap. Now let's take our right ankle over our left knee, sort of a figure 4 shape with that right leg, and then you're going to reach under the left thigh, interlace the hands behind the thigh, and then pull that toward you as your right elbow sort of pushes the right knee away. This is a big stretch in through the right outer hip and right glutes. So pulling left thigh toward you as the right knee pushes away. Deep, deep hip opening here. Good, release that side and let's switch. So left ankle comes over the right knee. We reach underneath the right thigh and pull that right thigh toward you as you push the left knee away. Feel a big stretch through your left glutes, left hip. All right, very nice. Release your legs. Take any final movements that you'd like to have before Savasana. If you'd like a little twist, you can let knees fall to one side and then the other. Make sure you take it equally on both sides. If you'd like to hug your knees into your chest and roll side to side, you can do that. That sometimes feels really nice. If you like a little happy baby, you grab your feet, pull the knees up toward your armpits, and also shake that side to side. Take any final movements that you need, and then when you're ready, you're going to settle your body into Savasana. So once you're ready, legs are long, feet fall open. If you need to prop something under your knees, like a rolled up blanket or 2 blocks for a little support, feel free. Arms are out just slightly away from the body, palms face up. Make sure your back feels nice and relaxed. Resting completely here on your mat. I'm going to come up to a seat and lead you through Savasana, but you stay there in your completely comfortable, relaxed position. All right, as you settle into Savasana, take a little mental scan of your body and notice if you feel tension anywhere. Notice your brow and your jaw and your neck. If you feel tension there, consciously release it. Notice your shoulders and your upper back. Notice the big strappy muscles running down along your spine. If you feel muscular tension there, let it go. Notice your low back, your hips and your thighs. Notice
Notice your lower legs and your feet. Anywhere you feel muscular tension in your body, just breathe into that area and relax and release it. And then once your body is completely relaxed, turn your awareness to your mind and notice how your mind is feeling today. Maybe it's feeling very peaceful and relaxed and open. Maybe you've got some tensions there as well, worries or anxieties. See if you can't put those down just for a few minutes for Savasana. Give yourself freedom from your worries and anxieties, freedom from mental tension so that you can completely relax in body and mind. Please don't cheat yourself of Savasana. It's such an important part of our practice where we learn to relax in body and mind, where that relaxation response can kick in and really help our bodies to heal and to stay in a healthy way. One of my first and favorite yoga teachers used to say, without Savasana, it ain't yoga. It's just sweating in a hot room. And I love that. It's so true. You've got to give yourself the Savasana, even if you've only got 5 minutes. Give yourself this time to relax completely. If you've got more time and you can stay in Savasana, you can go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, stay here. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just breathe and be here now. To wake yourself back up, or to bring your awareness back to the outside world. Notice any sounds. Maybe you've got birds chirping, other sounds in the room or in your home. Start to again notice those. Start to wake up your physical body with some small movements of hands and feet. Return your head side to side. Stretch your body long from tip to toe, as though you're just waking up. And then when you're ready, roll yourself onto the side of your choice. Stay there for a couple of breaths. I'll read to you again our quote of the day from Thoreau, who says, "As a single footstep will not make a path on the earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kinds of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives." So great job for getting on your mat and practicing today. Whether it's practicing how we use our bodies or how we use our minds, it's all just about practice. So do your practice and everything is coming. Don't judge it. If you have a good day, if you have a bad day, it's totally normal and we all have them. Just keep practicing. Take each day for what it is and know that you put in your work. When you're ready, make your way up to a comfortable seat. We'll close with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Peace for ourselves, peace for those around us, and peace for the universe. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhaling for Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, guys. Thank you for giving yourself this beautiful gift of yoga. Remember to drink lots of water if you sweat a lot in practice. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the next video. Namaste.